Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed by Hagoromo. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Given Abilities by 4 Devils, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto and Lee shocked everyone by the amount of power that they were producing as the two boys shook and break the entire place, cracks spreading out along the wall, straight towards the platform where the spectators were. Both of them were clashing violently, but Lee still could not stand up Naruto despite being in the 5th gate at the moment. Lee was still beaten back. But instead of letting him fall to the ground, Naruto caught him. He respected Lee as a boy, pushed forward no matter what, the amount of power that the boy produced, and still fighting despite the disadvantage of not having the ability to use chakra. As Naruto was talking, his silver chakra reached out, as it seemed to snap something inside of Lee. As a steady flow inside of Lee started to decimate wildly, running through his coils. But none of them knew that had happened because it was going on inside his body, as Naruto's silver chakra returned to him, as Guy came and took Lee, as he congratulated Naruto on a battle well fought. The exam was now over as all of them were paired up for the finals, as Naruto will be facing Yugito, Neji will be facing off against Mito, and Sasuke will be facing off against Gaara. As for the remaining time though, they had to train. Kakashi wanted to train Sasuke, as Sarutobi had someone that he wanted to train Naruto and Mito. So with that, Kakashi went off along with Sasuke to train him, as Sasuke told him not to hold back to teach him everything that he can, as he wanted to be ready to face off against the finals. As Kakashi decided to oblige and teach him what he can, everything that is suitable and ready for him at the moment. Meanwhile, as Naruto was at the house, as he just brought up a question that surprised Haku about kissing, Haku didn't mind, but Mito came there and broke it up, as Jiraiya then came there. Naruto had known of the man. Being in the house where his father and mother lived, Naruto knew exactly the man was. As Naruto was about to get angry, but seeing the look on Mito's face, he calmed himself, as he never let his anger reach out too far. Jiraiya was surprised at the kid's quick change of mood, as he saw the reason why though, the way Naruto glanced at Mito, seeing how upset she was. Mito wasn't a hateful person, or someone to hold long grudges, so knew that Jiraiya was her godfather. She was happy to meet him even though he was never there in the first place, as he had explained to her, but Naruto didn't take the news well. Still, Naruto did not want any training from him, as Naruto told him to go and train Mito, and make her as strong as possible. As Mito didn't mind that, as she knew that her brother would be fine. So with that, the training continued, as Naruto continued to make out with Haku, Sasuke thinking that Naruto was doing some intense training. On the 3rd week, Naruto knew that he was being watched as he was near one of the training grounds, as it was Yugito. The Nibi forced her to do this. She didn't know why the Nibi was so adamant on it. Well, she was the rank of a Jonin already, so she was sure that she wouldn't lose this brat, as the both of them made a bet. He would have to humiliate himself in front of everyone, give no arrogant that he act, and told Uchiha that he was stronger than him. But if he wins, she has to kiss him, seeing that both of them were going to fight. Nibi was playing a dangerous game here. She wanted to see if this boy, if he has any recollection of Naruto Uzumaki, or if he's simply a boy that doesn't know anything. As that was a dangerous gamble, because if he does, things was gonna be really bad. But she still would try. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? It was the 4th week of training. The Chunin exam final are right around the corner. In Training Ground 14, that was empty. Ceiling tags were placed all around. This was because of what Jiraiya was doing at the moment with Mito. After hearing that, she could somehow access and control a part of the fox power. Jiraiya decided to teach her in that. At the moment though, Mito was on the ground, legs crossed, eyes closed. 3 tails were coming from her, as she had on the cloak of the fox, with the 2 ears going straight up. Her face twitched ever so often, but she was perfectly calm. Jiraiya stood there as they were inside the barrier just in case. He had a smile on his face, a proud smile. When he heard that the girl was tampering the fox power, he thought that she was going to do and end up doing something wrong. But the girl was able to control up to 2 tails, and with his training and helping her focus even better, she was now up to 3 tails, keeping a full, steady mind. Mito opened her eyes as she smiled. "You see, Perfect Sage," she said. She got to her feet. Jiraiya sighed. "I really wish you would start calling me Jiraiya Sensei." "But you're a pervert," she said. "I already told you." Yeah, you're a super pervert." As he shook his head once again. "Well, enough about that," he said. "I'm proud of you. Able to control 3 tails worth of the power already. That's quite impressive given your age." "Well, that's not nothing yet. He has 9 tails after all." "And you're sure that he is willing to help you learn and control his power without any argument at all?" "Well, yeah. He's my friend," she said. Jiraiya looked at her. He only knew 2 other people that had the 9 tail before Mito. That was her mother and Mito Uzumaki, who she was named after, it seems. And Mito Uzumaki, she never had control of the fox. As the fox was sealed away inside of her, the power never to be used. Kushina never used the power, but Mito said that the fox was friendly. Jiraiya found that strange. The fox wouldn't talk to her about what happened that night, as he just told her that he was being controlled, and he didn't seem like he wanted to go on it. So Mito never pushed him about that. Seemed like something personal. That made Jiraiya quite confused. He still didn't know what happened that night himself, not being in the village. But if the fox was willing to help her, and not trick her, Jiraiya would help the girl the best he can and help her control his power. She smiled before the power was stated back into the seal, as she clenched her fists, knowing with this power she can win against her opponent with ease. As she remembered that she also had to make Neji pay for what he did to her friend Hinata, as Neji never had to hurt her so badly. So Mito was going to make him pay. Yes, very much. Alright now, with the remaining days left, I think you need to get some rest. You've done some hard training over the past 4 weeks, and I'm quite impressed by your determination, but you need to allow your body time to rest and recuperate, said Jiraiya. So for the remaining time, no training, allow your chakra coils to flow, and allow yourself just relax. Alright fine, she said, but I guess you taught me most you can already, right? You even gave me the summoning contract. Yeah, Jiraiya says. He frowned a bit, as Mito frowned as well. He's just like that sometimes. Trust me, he will warm up to you. I hope so, said Jiraiya, as he tried to offer Naruto the summoning contract as well, but Naruto turned the man down and told him he didn't want it. As the kid was relying on his own power, it seems like he didn't want anything from him, and that made Jiraiya awfully sad, as he realized that he failed the kid badly, the both of them. But at least Mito was trying to give him a chance, but Naruto on the other hand didn't want anything to do with him, and that just pained him every time he saw the way the kid look at him and treat him. As he sighed in disappointment, "Don't worry, Perfect Sage, I'll talk to him. Trust me, by no time the both of you will become big friends, and we'll be a big happy family," she said, as Jiraiya smiled at her optimism. "I hope you're right," he said. Time skip. "Well, that's enough for today," said Kakashi. Sasuke didn't answer because he was too busy panting. All the air seemed to have left him at that moment, as he was struggling to get it back. He was on the ground, his entire body coated in sweat. Over the past 4 weeks, Sasuke has been pushing himself to the absolute max, with this new ability that he got from the curse mark that seemed to be endless. What none of them knew was that the power, the silver chakra that was swirling inside Sasuke's curse mark, it belongs to Naruto. The power kept on piggyback on Sasuke chakra and replenishing itself, so it will never diminish. And that power also gave Sasuke a rapid boost when it comes to his physical strength, speed, and his influx of chakra. But Sasuke was not the only one that Naruto's silver chakra helped. Being Naruto Osusuke, the power that he owned is something that is beyond every human ability to use chakra. His one is beyond, on top of everything. His power is not only natural straight from Kaguya, but is also a mixture of the Shinjo, the God Tree. Seemed that Naruto basically absorbed so much power out of it, mixed and turned his chakra silver. That was the real deal when it comes to any other sort of chakra. So it can do things that no other chakra in human possibility can do. And one other person will soon benefit from it as well. As for that person, he was at the hospital at the moment. Lee was lying on his bed as the nurse was in there. Everything seemed to be fine, she said, as she gave him a smile. Guy had a big smile on his face. I knew my student wouldn't stay down for too long. Your fire of youth kept on burning brightly, and it extinguished all your wounds. Lee was in a bad shape after his battle with Naruto, pushing himself so hard using the gates. But at least he didn't have any lasting damage, but he still had to stay in the hospital for quite some time. His body had really suffered a lot in the impacts of Naruto punches. Your chakra flow seemed to be steady. And I must say, for someone so young, you have a lot of chakra, she said. Lee and Guy looked at her confused. Lee has been feeling strangely over the past, ever since his battle with Naruto. He never told Guy Sensei anything, as he figured that it was just normal. His body was recuperating and he was still in a bit of pain. What's wrong? The nurse asked. Well, my young protege here doesn't have the ability to use chakra. And the little chakra that he had, it's quite less than what you are expressing, said Guy, confused by the nurse's statement. Everyone in the world had chakra, despite Lee not knowing how to fully utilize his chakra. Everyone had chakra, but Lee had a small amount. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, said the nurse, but he has a lot of chakra packed in that body of his. And I must say a lot, she said as she looked at the charts. After my scan, his body seemed to be just overflowing with it. Lee was no more than confused as he got out of bed. What none of them knew was, Naruto opened up Lee's chakra coils and allowing the chakra flow to run. Lee's excess chakra that has been holding back the entire time, which was just dormant, had been awoken with a new fury. Lee looked over at Guy. As Guy looked at him confused as well, Lee decided to try something he hasn't done in a long while, as he placed them together and dig deep for that warmth, that power he tried to feel for when he was in the academy and they told him to do it, but he couldn't feel it. Lee's eyes snapped open. Guy Sensei. As he turned towards his sensei with a shocked look on his face. Time skip. Naruto was on the top of the monument, looking down at the village as he was standing there by himself. The week has been quite well for his training. In fact, he learned all of the abilities quite easily that he saw in his visions. That is what he's calling them now, his visions of the future, past, beyond. He didn't know where he was getting them from, but he learned all of them. Some of them he could not use in the village because it would just cause pure havoc, especially one that he saw that was too dangerous to ever be used. A question was still in his mind though. Where the hell did he keep on getting his visions from? And what is causing them? He looked at the diamond on his arm. He had noticed the other one was gone as he wondered if that was the case. This was some sort of seal holding back its power, but as much as he tried he couldn't access it. It felt like his entire mind was blocked every time he focused on the seal. It was strange, so he decided to just forget about it for now. As he stood there, he was wearing a long black t-shirt with loose black pants that was blowing in the wind. His hair not tied up as it was blowing back. He sat down taking in a deep breath. Everything was so calm right now. The exams, he couldn't wait. He wanted to test himself. But something felt off, like something was going to happen. He shook his head. I'm not crazy, he said. I gotta stop talking to myself. As he got to his feet, he took in another deep breath before releasing, as he fell right off the monument. His eyes closed halfway down before he snapped them open. The moment he snapped them open though, his Shakijo, that had been with him the entire time, transformed into a platform as he landed right on it. His staff could float, and he could turn into anything that he wanted. with his will, his mind of thinking. So why can't he turn to a platform to fly? That was exactly what he was doing as he watched over the entire village from above. As he couldn't wait till the exams. Time skip. Sasuke and Kakashi made their way back to the village. It was the day of the exams. Mito had threatened Sasuke if he was late, and she threatened Kakashi as well because she knew Kakashi's towardness, and she told him if he'd rub off on Sasuke, she'd punch him in the head once again, and she would set her brother on Kakashi. So they did come back in time, before the exam even start. The both of them made their way into the village. So, how do you feel at Kakashi? What do you mean, said Sasuke. Do you think my training was beneficial? Sasuke chuckled a bit. What's so funny? You're letting Naruto get to your head too much, to think that you're not a sensei. What? Well, the only reason you're asking me this is because of him, right? Don't worry. When I kick his ass in the finals, I'll make sure to tell him that. Well, I love your confidence, said Kakashi. You just wait and see, said Sasuke. And with that, the both of them made their way towards the arena, as the village was booming with excitement. The arena was already packed. The wind and fire daimyo there with their guards. All of them ready to enjoy the spectacle that was about to take place. Jiraiya was sitting on the rooftop, as he wanted to see the kids fight, especially Mito, and he also wanted to see what Naruto was going to do. But he wanted to see Mito fight especially. All of her hard training, the girl had really pushed herself hard. He wanted her to defeat this prodigy. He knew that this boy Neji was a prodigy of the Hyuga clan, even though he was a branch member, but Jiraiya was sure that Mito could take him. Speaking of Mito, she and her brother was currently making their way, as the both of them entered the arena. The place was packed as Mito looked around. Wow, she said. As everyone was here, everyone would be watching her. She got a bit nervous until she felt a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry. You're gonna do fine, he said. Haku was walking towards her on the other side, as she was looking at her as well. I'm sure the both of you will do fine, she said, as she smiled at them. Well, I better make my way up to the contestant seats. She kissed Naruto on the cheek before making her way off. As Mito looked over, so what? The both of you a couple now, she asked. Well, not really. So what are you doing then? Stringing her along? I don't know what you're talking about, said Naruto. We are just kids, having fun. And what's that supposed to mean, said Mito. Well, what do you think it means? Brother, you know that Haku has been through a lot, right? Yeah, said Naruto. Well, don't break her heart, okay? She's my friend. And she's your friend as well. Even if you didn't want to admit that first. And why do you think I would do something like that? Because you seem to be the type of person that would like more than one girl. Where have you been learning these kind of things, said Naruto? What? I'm a big girl now, she said. No, you're still a child. But you're a child as well, she said to him. No, I'm your big brother, and I'm older than you. So tell me, where have you been learning these things? She ran off. Naruto then turned his head, as his eyes narrowed around the arena before they set towards Jiraiya, who was standing on the roof. Jiraiya saw Naruto looking at him, and gave him a small wave, as Naruto's glare intensified, making Jiraiya shudder a bit. What did he do now? Naruto was about to walk off until he felt something behind him. So you made it, he said. Did you think I would run? Asked Yugito. Well, knowing that you were gonna lose, yes I did. I told you have too much confidence. Today, I'm gonna break all of that away, and show you that you're not the strongest. I never said I was the strongest. Or perhaps I am, said Naruto. When you're in front of the Uchiha, humiliating yourself, I'll be making sure to laugh, she said. That will never happen, said Naruto. Are you saying that you won't follow through the promise? No, I mean, I'm not gonna lose to you. Well then, let us just see. Well then, kitten, I hope you bring the big kitten out to play. I won't test my power against her. Knowing that I'm a Jinchuriki doesn't mean anything, she said. Do you really think you can handle the power of Nebe? Well, if I couldn't, I wouldn't ask, said Naruto. There you go again, overestimating yourself. I'm going to be making sure to put you in your place. Naruto simply smiled. Well, if you say so, he said. As he started to walk, his shakijo was turned into a necklace around his neck as he made his way. They made their way over where all of the competitors were lined up. One of them were missing though, and that was Dosu and Sasuke. Mito clenched her fists. Where the heck? She stopped as she saw Sasuke walking in. As she smiled at him, Sasuke actually smiled back. He looked towards Naruto, who muttered the words, weak. As Sasuke glared at him, he always tried to do something just to mock him. But Naruto simply turned his head as Sasuke made his way over. Took you long enough, said Mito. Didn't you just arrive as well? That doesn't matter, she said. If you had been late, I would have punched you in the head. You know, you're always talking about punching me in the head recently. You knew it was an accident what I did back then, right? Don't you forgive me, he asked. Well, I forgave you a long time. I just like punching you in the head. Huh? Why? Sasuke asked. Who knows? Probably because it's fun, said Mito. As Naruto started to laugh. As all of them were lined up, the Hokage stepped forward. Beside him was the Kazekage as a man who was dressed in robes to cover his features entirely. As Sarutobi finished giving his speech, everyone clapped. Well said, Hokage Dano, said the Kazekage. Well, thank you, Kazekage Dano, said Sarutobi. But the man had a rather suspicious look on his face as it vanished within a second. He had Ryu and another ninja behind him, as the Kazekage had two ninjas behind him as well. But that was just a ruse. Outside of the walls, the Sun and Sand ninjas were getting ready, just waiting for the signal to begin. Inside of the crowd, a masked Anvu stood there, but he was no regular masked Anvu. It was none other than Kabuto, as he glanced towards the box a few times, looking towards his master, who seemed perfectly calm. Today would be the day that Konoha burned. All of them were thinking this, but they forgot about one person, not even Hokage or Jiraiya. They forgot that Naruto Uzumaki was standing there. Well, they will soon find out later what is going to happen when you try to destroy a village, when someone in it that you care about in. But for now, as the exam were taken away, alright, the first fight will be Shikamaru Nara versus Temari of the Sand. The rest of you make your way up to the selection box. The group started to walk off until Mito grabbed onto Shikamaru, who was walking along with them as well. And where do you think you're going? Troublesome. Has to be another girl that holds me, isn't it? Come on, Shikamaru, stop being so lazy, she said. You can do this. Don't disappoint us, she said as she threw him back. Shikamaru sighed. So what, lazy boy, she said. Run away from me, she asked. Well, yes. Huh, admitting it. Well, at least you're not a scaredy cat. Would you just give up now and we don't have to do this, he asks. Give up? Why do I have to do that? Why don't you, she asks. And save yourself the humiliation because you're not gonna beat me. You know, that's not a bad idea. He then turned his head, his eyes locked with his mother's, as he turned back. Yeah, not so good of an idea. The group made their way up to the booth, as Sasuke and Naruto and Mito stood at one section, the others all lined up. Dosu was still missing, but his match was not ready yet, so he still had time. But if he didn't show up, he was going to be disqualified. Gar had a bloodthirst look on his face as he looked towards Naruto. Dosu was going to make it because he killed him. Gar has never felt mother so anxious before. She really wanted Uzumaki dead, and Gar was going to make sure that was a reality soon enough. But he can't afford to get himself disqualified now. He was in the heart of the village. At least he had some common sense not to attack Naruto right out. So, who do you think's gonna win? Asked Sasuke. Well, Shikamaru, no, said Naruto. That girl is gonna win. Huh? Don't you believe in Shikamaru? She asks. It's not that. He's smart, I'll give him that. But that girl has the power to back it up. He might end up tricking her into a trap. But for some reason I feel he's gonna give up. Because of his laziness. But still, all they want is for them to show them that they can become Chunins. So he doesn't have to win. Well, it doesn't matter, said Sasuke, because I'll win my match. Seems like you've been training hard, Uchiha. Sasuke said nothing. Hey, that's it? What do you mean, said Naruto. Where's the insult? Asked Sasuke. Oh, you have a stupid face, said Naruto. Sasuke glared at him. You know I wasn't going to insult you, but you asked for it, said Naruto. Shh, it's about to start, said Mito. As Naruto said, the battle went, well, not too quickly. But Shikamaru kept on throwing kunais and shurikens towards Temari as he hid in the trees. but she blew them away. But he had enough time to trap her though. But given his recent failed attacks, he was low on chakra. And Shikamaru gave up because his shadow possession was going to die out anyway. But at least he gave a good showing. Naras. Always smart, but not really active. Said the Kazekage. You can say that again, said Sarutobi. But at least the boy has shown impressive strategy. He was able to capture his enemy, but he just lacked the drive. But that can be improved upon. I think you're right, Hokage Dano. It seems like some impressive people are here to fight today. The Uchiha and the Prodigy Hyuga. Well, not only that, your son is here as well, isn't he? Yes, my Gara shall do fine. But there's another, said Sarutobi. As Sarutobi smiles, he looked down towards Naruto, knowing that Naruto would win this battle. Well, he looked towards the female, Jinchuriki. There was no doubt that she was strong, as she looked to be well intact as a kunoichi. But there was just something about Naruto that put him above all else, and Sarutobi just knew that he would win this battle. Mito took a deep breath as it was now her turn. Neji glanced towards her with a lazy look, as he seemed to be not interested in this battle, not really paying much attention towards her. With the next two fighters, please make your way down here, said Genma. And that exactly is what they did. They made their way down towards the arena, with Mito stopping her at the end as she smiled at Naruto and smiled at Sasuke. Sasuke wished her good luck. Kick his ass, said Naruto. Neji said nothing as he made his way down. The both of them made their way through the tunnel. You know, it is probably wise for you to give up right now, said Neji. That you say. But I'm not gonna give up, she said to him. You will pay for what you did to Hinata. I'm gonna win, and make sure to show you that it's never right to beat up family like that. You don't understand or know anything, said Neji. With that, they made their way down there. Now, for the second match of Chunin exams, we have Neji Hyuga versus Mito Uzumaki. Are the both of you ready? Yes, the both of them said. Alright then, begin! And with that, he flashed away. Jerry was on the roof as he smiled, ready to see she beat on this boy. Neji simply sighed. You will just get the same fate as your friend Hinata. It's better if you just give up right now and save yourself the humiliation. Mito simply smiled at him. Chains burst from the ground, but Neji twisted and jumped away. Don't think your same trick will work on me. The moment Neji said that, the chains threw two kunais towards him, surprising him. As he was too focused and ready for that attack, he did not notice the two kunais that were at the edge of the chains as they sank straight towards him. But Neji was not a prodigy for nothing as he twisted his body. He looped his hand through one of the kunai's loop and blocked the other one with it before he tossed it towards Mito. The kunai made direct contact to Mito before she poofed away. Surprising Neji, he only took his eyes off her for a single second. His Byakugan was not activated. He thought that she wasn't worth it. Meanwhile, in the trees nearby, Mito created a makeshift slingshot with her chain. Three clones were sent sailing towards Neji at hyper speed as she tossed them with her chains. Neji readied himself as he twists and strike them in mid-air, dispelling the clones. But not before something dropped at his feet, the smoke bomb. The smoke bomb boomed and surrounded the entire area. Neji scoffed. And what do you think this will do, he said. Don't you understand what the Byakugans are? Well, someone like you wouldn't. Byakugan. He activated his eyes. He twisted his foot just in time as Mito burst from the earth and lashed out with a powerful kick, which he blocked with his arm. He pushed back her kick and struck her right in the arm. Mito staggered back as he followed up with three jabs to the stomach. But to his surprise, she poofed away. The clones had all sheer version of her chakra. He couldn't tell which one was the real one. Three chains burst from the ground as he had to leap away, but one of them scratched him right in the arm. Before he landed though, his eyes went wide. Ear palm, he said, firing a blast of chakra from his arm. He used to push himself as the ground in front of him exploded. He had seen the explosive tag on the ground. The moment he landed, Mito was right behind him as he turned. He striked out, striking her right in the arm, blocking her hit. This one was the real one. Mito then ducked. She came up with an uppercut right towards his chin, but Neji smirked as he stepped back a bit, twisting his leg as it slammed into her stomach. But Mito didn't fall to her, she grabbed onto it, surprising him by her strength and resilience. She spin him around before sailing him. Mito launched herself forward once again as she threw two kunais. Neji flipped, using the back of his feet to knock them away as he landed perfectly. Mito then went through hand sign. Wind style, great wind breakthrough. A massive gust of wind tore through the air where Neji jumped from. Mito then speed through another set of hand signs. Water style, colossal water burst. Neji was confused, there was no water supplies around, and this girl couldn't be able to pull moisture. He was cut off from his thoughts as water exploded from the earth, slamming right into him. Neji was sent sailing over towards the west wall as he hit into it. As the water had hit him with that force, a small, orange toad then jumped out of the earth. As Mito smiled, "You did it, Kamikichi." The toad nodded, as he seemed to have excess water in his mouth as he couldn't talk at the moment. He was the one that delivered the water source on the ground for Mito to be able to use. As she gave him a thumbs up, with that he poofed away and headed back to the summoning world. Many people in the crowd mumble, "A summon? Wait, Jiraiya-sama is the only one who summoned toads. Has he taken this girl on as an apprentice?" Hayashi was watching along with Hanabi as well, as he couldn't believe that she caught Ninja off guard like that. Hinata had a big smile on her face. "Do it, Mito," she said. She didn't want her cousin to get hurt badly, but she was rooting for Mito. Hinata was just a good person that way, despite her cousin harming her. Sasuke was smiling. She has this in the bag. Well, you ever had a second thought near to ask? Neji pulled himself out of the wall, as he swayed just for the slightest. "That's for Hinata." You keep on mumbling about this and that, and you don't know anything. What don't I know? Asked Mito. If you know the truth, maybe you'd understand. But why should I tell you anything? Well, you hurt my friend. You could have at least give me an explanation why. Neji pulled off his headband. "I'm sick of all your talking when you don't know a single crap," he said, as he was getting furious now. Tenten believed that there was no one that can beat Neji, and this girl was just riling him up. Neji was going to beat her very soon, and Tenten knew that. She was just waiting for him to win. On the other hand, Lee was sitting there, as he just had a smile on his face. There has been a lot of developments over the past, 2 days. And yes, there's a lot that Lee had to work on. Neji went into his explanation, telling Mito about the main and branch house, about his father, who was swapped in place in Hayashi. After his story, he stood there and he put on back his headband. "Now do you understand?" he said. "Or do you still don't understand anything?" "That's stupid." "What?" "I know that must have hurt, but Hinata was just a 3-year-old kid back then. For you to take your anger out on her like this is beyond stupid and idiotic." "Enough," Neji said as he shot forward. He came towards her as he dodged her strike, going down low. "And now you're in my field. Off." He was cut off as chains burst from Mito's palms and wrapped around one of his arm. His arm was stretched out wide, so he didn't have the momentum to pull it back. Mito tossed him as he smashed right in the wall, breaking it. Mito wasted no time as she went through another set of hand signs. Wind style, great wind breakthrough. This time, the full force of the attack slammed into Neji as he cried out in pain. Tenten watched with shock as everyone watched. Neji coughed violently as he slowly got back to his feet, shaking a bit. Mito rushed forward. "Rotation," Neji said as he spun violently. The dome of chakra slammed into Mito as she crashed on the ground. Mito panted as she got to her feet. As she looked over, she saw her brother there. He gave her a thumbs up. She turned her head back. "I won't lose to you." She wouldn't use the Kaiba power against Neji. She would use that for someone a lot stronger. She believed her own power can do this. As her chain sneaked around her arm, it focused on it like some sort of drill as the end of the chain started to spin. "Here I come." Neji stood there as his legs were weak from the wind blast. He was getting tired, and she was coming towards him again, but this time his rotation would end her for sure. She shot forward. Rotation. Mito didn't wait as she sent chakra towards the chains. The chains started to glow a brighter golden color as she slammed it into the rotation. A violent screeching sound could be heard as the both of them clashed sparks, sending everywhere fluctuation of chakra. The wall got broken and cracked all over, the earth tearing apart as her attack kept on drilling To Neji's surprise, he started to slow down. She dropped her on Mito's other arm as she drove forward. She used a counterclockwise measure and broke through the rotation, surprising Neji to no end. His eyes were wide as Mito slammed her fist right into his stomach. The chains quickly recalling off her hand so she wouldn't kill him, as she never meant to do that, as the chains would literally tear through his body if they hit. But her fist was still coated in chakra, which she had learned how to harness. She was working on making with chakra, so she had learned how to harness her chakra better. The fist slammed into Neji's stomach as he coughed up blood, his back hitting the wall with tremendous force. He then fell face down into the ground. His entire body spasmed as he was unable to move. Mito panted as she dropped to one knee. You say that it was Hinata's fault, and everyone is stuck in their destiny and their fate. But what is this? I just break your fate. If you believe in fate that much, how was I able to beat you? Did fate call that? Or was it because of my hard work and determination? If you keep on acting this way and letting fate control your life, you will never change, and that would just be worse for you. But I pray you do though, because in all actuality, you're not a bad guy, you just went through a lot. With that, Neji passed out, as his body could no longer maintain the strain. Winner, Mito Uzumaki, said Genma. The crowd erupted in cheers, surprising Mito as she turned her head. She never expected him to cheer that loudly for her. A big smile spread across her face. That is exactly how she wanted when becoming Hokage, for all the people to know and love and respect her. As she saw her brother smiling up there towards her, giving her more confidence, as she gave a small bow. As Sasuke was there as well with a big smile. As one of the medics came towards her. No, I'm fine, she said. She made her way, as Naruto jumped down. You okay? He asked. Well, I want to see you fight and the others as well. Don't worry. The fox will heal me, so I just need to sit down for a bit. Naruto kneeled down in front of her as he turned his back. She smiled, she crawled onto his back. Like the old days, she said. Yeah, said Naruto. And with that he took off and jumped back up to the platform with her. He rested her down against the wall. Well, that was surely interesting, said the Kazekage. Seems like another fight is about to start very soon. Is it this the one that you're proud of? The one that you want to see in action? He asked. Well, let's just say yes, said Sarutobi. Facing off against none other than the Jinchuriki of Kumo. Do you really think that mere child has the power to defeat a Jinchuriki? Given from what I heard, this Jinchuriki has the power to control the beast. So how do you think this will play out? If you believe that he will win, it seems like you have been getting old, Sarutobi, and not understand the fluctuation of power nowadays. Trust me, I may be old, but I still have my right mind. You just watch and see. He will surprise you. Alright, there was a rather entertaining match with the competitors, Dosu and Kankuro from the sand make your way down here. Kankuro looked forward as Genma looked up. He turned his head towards the Hokage. The Hokage then sent a messenger down towards Genma. Well, it seems that Dosu is not here. He hasn't been for the past few minutes. We are not waiting around. So I hereby declare Kankuro of the Sand the winner by forfeit from Dosu of the Sound. The people all booed, as they really wanted to see another match that will excite them like the first one. Alright, said Genma. Kankuro stood there, but at least he didn't have to waste his time to fight. After all, he had to save his strength for what is about to come. Now, for the fourth match. Well, Naruto Uzumaki and Yugito made their way down here. Well, this is it, said Mito, as she gave her brother a smile. Go kick her ass, she said. I intend to, said Naruto, as he started to walk off. It will be a real shame if you lose, said Sasuke. Oh, so you think so, Uchiha? You should know we have a bet going if I lose. Oh, and what's that? Let's just say if I lose, it will be very good for you. Well, no, I'm praying that you will lose, said Sasuke. Well, I'm glad that won't be a reality, said Naruto. Are you just gonna stand there talking, said Yugito. Oh, I'm coming, Mom, said Naruto. Don't call me that, she said. As the both of them started to make their way down. You know, we could have just jumped off, said Naruto. I'd rather take the long way around, for you to understand that you're not gonna win. Here we go again, said Naruto. Seems you really don't understand what is going to happen here. Oh, and what is that, she asks. Well, the kiss that I'm going to get from you is going to be a long one. Just want to see what it feels like to kiss someone else. Someone else? Have you been doing it with someone else, she asks. Wow, you sound jealous, said Naruto. Why would I be? I don't even know you. And yet you're gonna kiss me, said Naruto. Well, it was just a bet. Oh, so you knew you're gonna lose, said Naruto. Wordplay. Funny. But you're still not gonna win, she said to him. Well then, let's see. With that, the both of them made their way out. Are the both of you ready, asked Genma. Yes, said Yugito. Yeah, said Naruto. Alright then. Now, Naruto Uzumaki versus Yugito. Begin! With that, Genma jumped away. Neither of them moved though, as they just stood there. You know, I wanted to ask you something, said Naruto. Oh, and what is that, she asked. Well, the Kazekage is here. So I'm confused. Where is the Raikage? As he looked at her. I'm afraid my Raikage is busy at the moment, she said. Busy? Said Naruto, confused. Why isn't he here to see his Genin team compete? Well, if you hadn't noticed, there were approximately at least 5 Sangenin teams that entered June exams, but they all fall out. They were disqualified before they get to this point. But there was only one Kumo team that came here, so he knew that you guys would lose as well. It's not that. He has enough faith to know that we will win, so he doesn't have to make an appearance. That's quite strange, Joe, for him not to show up, even though it's just the Romanian, said Naruto. Well, it's not really much of a match, with just me alone, she said. That sounds strange. Like he doesn't even care, said Naruto. Yugito looked at him. And why would you say that? Because he's not here to support you. She looked rather frustrated at the questions. Sarutobi, for one, shocked to his ears, he could hear what Naruto was saying, but Naruto wasn't talking low. That was a strange event as well. The Raikage was supposed to be here, but the man had said that he was too busy to show up. Well, given that it was just only one of his village participant in the exams, well, still, he should show up to represent her, but the man did not show. Did he have that much confidence in her to do this? Or did he lack that confidence in her? Well, she was a Jinjulke, so that was strange. Sarutobi turned his head. Over to the side was her Jonin that came with her, as Samui was there, along with Amoy and Karu. The both of them were silent up to this point. Ah, Yugito is ready, said Amoy. Samui stood there. The Raikage brought her here for one purpose intently, to pretend to be a genin. She wasn't promoted for this very show. But the man said that he was busy, that he could not show up. But he knew that Yugito would make him proud by annihilating the force that was against her. Well, for all intents and purposes, he knew nothing of Naruto Uzumaki. Samui also had a keen eye on this boy. He seemed to be quite strong, but she was sure that Yugito could handle him. Alright, we're to see her kick that tomato head ass, said Karu. You're just upset because your sister beat you in seconds. What? Well, I'm not wrong. She punched him right over the head. Ow, what was that for? Be quiet, she said. You be quiet, you flat-chested woman, he said to her. What was that? It's nothing, I'm just talking to myself, he said. You better. In the arena, Naruto started to walk. As he looked at Yugito. Are you ready to start, she asked. I don't want to knock you out so quickly that you say you didn't get a good start, she said to him. Meanwhile, outside, the ninjas that were gathered were surprisingly a lot. Usually, 2 villages did not have this amount of ninja, even though some of them had to stay behind to protect the village. Something strange was going on here. Something rather strange. Seems like a new party has joined the battle against Konoha. And, well, we'll just have to wait to see for the invasion. Meanwhile, inside, Yugito was the first one to strike, not wasting any time. She came at Naruto with a claw hand. As Naruto twisted his body as he passed him, she turned her head. Well, at least you have a bit of reflex, she said. She shot towards him once again, her claws extended upon impact. She slashed at him several times, but he kept on dodging and evading her attacks, with a smile on his face the entire time. Haku was watching, as she was happy to see him having fun out there. Given their little intimate moments, the both of them had gotten a lot closer, even sleeping and waking up in the same bed. Not doing anything beyond the limits, but just kissing. But it was nice. Haku never felt so wonderful in her life before, as she just hoped that it will continue. As she watched the both of them fight down there, Naruto jumped away with a smile. If that's all you got, kitten, I'm afraid you're not gonna win. Hey, kitten, the Neji said to her at the same time. You need to notch it up a bit. He's not gonna fall down that easily. Alright then. It's time to stop holding back so much. She speed through hand sign. Lightning release. Shockwave, she said. Placed her hand on the ground. A burst of electricity broke where Naruto stood. Kakashi was surprised. What the hell? Asuma. And Kurenai looked towards him. Kurenai didn't have a good favor for Naruto. Despite him being a Konoha ninja, she wanted to lose. Yes. Given the boy words about Hinata, she rather came to hate him. How is that girl manipulating the lightning to that extent? That is only something a Jonin or higher can do. Or someone immensely special, said Kakashi, knowing that there was only, one Naruto in the world. After all, you don't see other people with Byakugan and Sharingan. But this girl. Yeah, I know what you mean, said Asuma. Seems like we were led on a wild goose chase. This girl is definitely not Genin level. Naruto was able to dodge lightning though, even though it was so fast. Huh, trying to fry me, huh, he said. She wasted no time as she went through hand sign again. She blew out a massive stream of blue flames. The flames came rocketing towards Naruto, who slammed his hand down. A massive earth chunk came out and blocked it. The flame dissipated as Naruto jumped on the earth wall that crumbled away, landing back on his feet. Whoa, intense. She rushed towards him. The both of them clashed while she swung her hand above his head, but he ducked. He lashed out towards her stomach, but she grabbed his foot and swung him around as she tossed him. He crashed on the ground before flipping up to his feet. What's wrong? I'm not fighting back, she said. Well, I was just seeing what you can do. And if that's all, I must say I'm disappointed. Guess I built this fight up in my head too much. I know it's just a disappointment, said Naruto. She started to get angry. I don't need a brat like you talking like you're above me. Well then, show me what you can do, kitten, said Naruto. Stop calling me that. What's wrong, kitten, said Naruto. For a moment there she lost her composure as she shot towards him in new vigor, showing her true speed. Everyone, the Jonins, were surprised. Ino turned towards Asuma. Is that girl really a Genin like us? As Asuma didn't answer though, but he had a grim look on his face as Guy was standing there as well. Something seems off, Kakashi, he said. Yes, it does. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes. He could definitely tell now that this girl was no normal Genin. As Jiraiya was on the roof looking down, Naruto was not doing anything, just dodging, as the girl attacked him with a new vigor. Before she got the one up on him, as she slipped under his fists, she struck him in the stomach with her claws, as her claws dig into his skin. Naruto winced a bit, before she sent him back with a pulse of burning claws, as they were literally burning with small, blue flickers of flame. Naruto was sent sailing back as he smashed into the wall. Yeah, now we're talking, said Neji. Show that little punk what you can do. He's not gonna win this bet. Yugito stood there proudly. Her body started to fluctuate with more power. Naruto ripped himself out of the wall. Huh. You ruined my shirt, he said, as he took off the grey shirt that he was wearing and folded it up, before placing it aside. Seems like he's ready now, said Mito. Finally. In the box. What do you mean, said Temari. He's getting his ass kicked. Well, if you hadn't noticed by now, my brother is different from everyone else. You'll see. Huh. Seems like you're overestimating your brother, said Kankuro. She's not lying, said Sasuke. As much as I hate to say it, this girl can't win. Gaara said nothing as he just focused on the fight down below. Yugito rushed towards Naruto again, claws extended, but this time, surprised when Naruto caught her hand with ease. Holding on to the wrist as she lashed out another hand, but Naruto grabbed it. She brought up her knee and smashed it right into his chest. But he didn't even budge. She pulled back her head and smashed it right in his nose. Naruto simply smiled. Yugito then felt it, as she saw it as well. Strange flicker of a silver glow around his body, seeming to act like a shield. Hinata activated her Byakugan as she looked forward. It seems that Naruto's body was protected by a silver glow. It was barely visible by the naked eye, but through her Byakugan she could see it, full and well. And he wasn't taking any damage. Naruto lifted Yugito up in the air. Before he brought her down, her body smashed against the ground, breaking it. She looked up only for her feet to connect in her face so hard that her nose broke up on impact. Her body was sent sailing, whistling through the sky as it smashed into the wall. Yugito was in a daze as she was confused. She tilted her head just in time as Naruto's fist connected where her head was, breaking in the wall. She was a Jinchuriki, she could take it. He twisted his body and swing, the air rippling around his fist. She ducked underneath and went towards his stomach, but Naruto slapped her hand away. As he reached 2 fingers forward, a volt of electricity slammed into her. She screeched as she was blown back. Naruto raised his hand as his staff materialized from his neck and came to his palm. He slammed it into the earth. The entire section in front of him cracked. As Naruto drive his staff down, he then went through hand sign, earth style. Earthquake, shake her, he said. He slammed his hand on the ground. The entire place shook dangerously. People up there starting to worry, thinking that there was a massive earthquake shaking everywhere. Was this one kid doing all of this? Yugito didn't have time as Naruto came in front of her. A fist planted in her gut. Her entire body bent over his fist as he was shot backwards. Her body planted in the wall, creating a good sizable human-shaped crater. She dropped to her knees, coughing up blood. I couldn't. Take it easy on you, kitten. You're a Jinchuriki. And perhaps I wouldn't want to shame you by taking it that easy on you, said Naruto. I appreciate that, she said, her voice hoarse, as she got to her feet. Hey kitten, you stop holding back now. Give it all to me. I'll put this to the shit in its place. As Yugito was pissed for once. But, despite her anger, she was smiling. As a child feel nice. Despite his age, he was proven to be a worthy fighter. It was a shame. What was her real goal of coming here? There was also the fact that she had to show that she was the strongest, to prove that Kumo was on top. But there was another reason. The reason why her Raikage wasn't here. And it's soon enough everyone will find out. But Naruto was a threat. And she was given the opportunity to take out any threat that might hinder their plans. Up in the Kage booth, Orochimaru under his disguise was smiling. Konoha will perish soon enough. After all, with 3 villages attacking it at once. And another powerhouse on his side, this village would definitely fall. All he had to do was give the man what he wanted. Orochimaru chuckled to himself darkly in his mind. Yugito looked over. I must say, it seems like you're stronger than I thought. But your strength is something to be marvelized at, not hid from. But it doesn't matter because now it's all over. Oh? And what does that mean, kitten? Huh. This will be the last time you call me that. Hey, sounds like you're gonna kill me, said Naruto. Well, I might. An explosion of a blue fire surrounded her body as Naruto watches the blue fire change and twisted. What the hell? Said Mito, as all of them watched as the thing turned to a giant, 2-tailed cat. A smile spread across Naruto's face. Now that's what we're talking about, he said, as he held out to his staff. At that moment, the fluctuation of power, something clicked inside of him. As his arm started to shake, the power exploded from the diamond as it split down the middle once again, leaving 2 parts down to the side. A huge crack right in the center. As the fluctuation of power struck him hard as he dropped to his knees. He coughed as the power was stifling. But he got to his feet, his entire body shaking. His eyes changed, but he didn't notice, but they did. And he felt the power rise. The feeling for battle, the excitement was getting to him. The Nibi roared and leaped forward. Yes, come, he said. But guys, me and subscribe right here. If one thing's part of this, to do, like, subscribe, comment, no below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. But more for now, see you guys soon. Peace.